This next section comes from 8.1 and it's completing the square. These are problems that you're going to do when you cannot factor. These are not factorable. You could actually complete the square on any problem, but you're not going to want to complete the square when this middle term is not even, but it's even here, so it's good. And you can't factor this, so you're going to want to complete the square. So let's run through these and complete the square, practice completing the square on them is what is required. So the first thing is you want to make sure there's a 1 here, and there is. So if there's not a 1 here, you would have to divide everything by 1. So we don't have to do that step. Next, you're going to add 10. Get rid of your constant, it goes to the other side. So x squared minus 4x, leave a little bit of space, brings this over to a 10. Now to complete the square, you take half of this number. Half of -4 is -2. And you square it. Add 4 to both sides. So half of this squared is 4. Now, what you have done is you've turned this into a perfect square trinomial that factors into a binomial that's a twin. So x minus 2 times x minus 2. What is 10 plus 4? It's 14. Now this problem looks like the ones we just did on 8.1. So you're going to take the square root of both sides. And you get x minus 2 equals plus or minus root 14. And then add 2. Next one, number 60. Subtract 2. Half of this is -3 and square it. Factor. Now, whatever this sign is will be that sign, and half of 6 is 3. These two are 7, square root of both sides. Don't forget, half of that squared has to be added to both sides. And please don't forget this is a plus or minus, and then add 3. (61), we're going to subtract 5. Half of this is 4, and you're going to square it, factor it, square root both sides, and then subtract 4. (62), add 8, half of this squared is 4, factor this is a squared, a plus 2 squared. Then you're going to take the square root of both sides. Simplify this, plus or minus 2 root 3, and then subtract 2. And 75. For this one, you're going to want to first get rid of the 2, divide everything by 2. So x squared. Now this 4x has to go to the other side. And you can leave your 32 on that side, because you normally would bring it over anyway, so you might just leave it. Half of this squared, you're going to add 4 to both sides. Factor. Square root. And add 2. 2 plus 6 is 8, and 2 minus 6 is -4. So your two answers are 8 and -4. Okay, The next two are applications. It says, find the area of each rectangle given. I know it's hard to read, but the area of this rectangle is 21. It says 21 right here. 2, 1. So area is length times width. So x plus 2 times x minus 2. Area is length times width. They're telling you that the area of this rectangle is 21. So what you're going to do is you are going to FOIL this out. So x squared minus 2x plus 2x, the two middle terms are going to cancel out, and then you have minus 4. So I'm going to add 4 to this, and I'm using my take the square root of both sides. Then I'm going to solve for x by square rooting both sides. I get two possible answers. X is 5 or negative 5. So, if I were to ask you, what is the length of each side? Could x be negative 5? No. If I put a negative 5 here, that's like saying that the length of this side is negative 7. You can't have, measurements can't be negative. I can't say that this is a negative 7, or that negative 7, this would be a negative 5 plus 2, which is negative 3. So we're going to toss out this negative answer. So for this application, x is 5, which means that in this rectangle, we have 5 minus 2, and then 5 plus 2. So this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 7. So this rectangle measures, this side is 3, and this side is 7, which makes sense. 3 times 7 is 21. And we're going to try 86 the same way. We've got this rectangle. One side measures x plus 5. The other side measures x plus 3. So let's multiply x plus 5 times x plus 3. And we're going to set it equal to 35 because that's the area. If we FOIL this out, you get x squared, 3x and 5x gives us 8x. 5 times 3 is 15. So what I would want to do is I would zero this side out. I'm going to subtract 35. And this is going to give us minus 20. Now, one of the 5 ways that we learned in class how to factor is this: we could complete the square if you wanted to. Why could we complete the square? Because that's an even number. So you could add 20, take half, square root both sides. You could do that. Try to factor it. Is this factorable? Maybe it is. Let's see for a second. Can you think of two numbers that multiply to give you negative 20, but add to the 8? That works. So your two possible answers are negative 10 and 2. We're going to toss this answer out because you can't have a negative side. That would give us a negative, if I put a negative 10 here, that would create this side being negative 7, which is a no-no. So if I put 2 here, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So the dimensions of this rectangle, it's a 7 by 5 rectangle. X is 2, but the sides measure 7 by 5. That concludes 8.1.